Hello, this is Diane Dressback, and I have Melissa Farley with me today, and we are interviewing Kathy Blaze Jefferson. Thank you, Kathy, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Kathy is a chapter writer in my book, From Us for You, Inspiring Stories of Healing, Growth, and Transformation. She is one of 25 writers, and Melissa is also a writer in that book. Kathy, I remember meeting you, of course, in the film community, but you were a background person, a background actor in our feature film Paranoia years and years ago. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
I remember seeing you walk by. Every time I watch that film, I see you walking by the camera. I'm like, hey, there's Kathy. So anyway, why don't you give us a little bit of an introduction to yourself?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Kathy Blaze Jefferson, and I'm the founder of a company called Blazing Curves, Blaze Image Consulting. And what my company does is work with women and young girls on building their confidence and their self-esteem. And what we do is we use fashion as our platform to do this. Because some of these ladies have these aspirations of maybe being a model, an actress, or whatever. So we help bring them out of their shell so that they can meet those aspirations.
That's so wonderful, Kathy. That sounds like amazing work that you're doing with these women. Let's talk a little bit about your chapter first, though, and then I think I'm going to circle back to the work that you're doing. So we don't want to give everything away. We want to leave some, mystery to your chapter. But can you give us kind of the elevator pitch of what your chapter is about in Diane's book?
Okay, you know what? I like to always say that there's an 11-year-old child that lives within me. And what my story talks about is the young person that blossoms into a grown woman within Kathy. And because I believe there's a lot of women out there that still walk around with that young person inside of them, not knowing how to blossom into what it is that they want to be because they're being held back because of past experiences.
That's so incredible. And it sounds like that's kind of your life's calling. I mean, between your chapter and the work that you do, I think probably nurturing young talent and young creativity. How did you know that was the kind of work you wanted to do? I mean, how did this come about for you?
Well, you know what? I'm going to have to say I never knew it was my calling. I started doing plus size modeling myself, and I would post my pictures on social media. And then I would get these inbox messages from men, women saying, how can I do what you do? Can you work with my wife because her self-esteem is low, or my child is being bullied in school? And I was first thinking, why are these people contacting me? So it was really a strange feeling at first to have people contact me and ask me to help them with them, because I felt like I couldn't even help myself. So how can I help someone else? But after doing this for a little while and getting I don't want to say accolades, but people coming back saying, well, you made me feel this way, or my child said you were just the best. You helped them with this. And I think my youngest person that I worked with was age 7. I call her Miss Sophia. And to see the change in that little girl's life, a 7-year-old, that was what told me that this was my calling. If I can help someone so that they didn't feel the way I felt when I was a little girl, and I'm all for that. I'll give my all for everyone else to not feel that way.
That's so great. And I think, so many people can relate to this in such a profound way. I know me personally, I started a medication that made me gain 20 pounds, and I'm just getting older. And so I'm way curvier than I used to be. And it's definitely an adjustment, because we live in a society, as you know, where they really promote diet culture and, thin is healthy. And I'm almost asking you to help me right now, which isn't what I want to do. But I guess my question is kind of like, what are some of the things that you focus on to help women reach that point of confidence and acceptance in themselves? Like, what do you focus on for that?
You know what? I try to focus on the inside. We go for the inside, because a lot of times we're all focused about how we look on the outside, but there's something going on the inside. Yeah. Whether because someone told you, Okay, I mean, use an example. When I was a little girl, my brother would always call me knock-kneed, and I
Mm.
hated my legs for the longest. I didn't like showing my legs. Okay, so I focus on what it is that where the ailment is.
Mhm.
And we worked on that. I had a young lady that didn't like showing her arms, but it was deeper than not just showing my arms. There was a reason behind it. Okay, it
Right.
was because of stretch marks and because she had lost some weight and her arms were really loose. So it was dealing with that and just slowly easing her to a comfort level, whether it was putting on a jacket for a day, getting in the
Mhm.
mirror and telling yourself I'm beautiful. Wear something, a jacket to the store with a short sleeve sundress or something. So it was like taking baby steps to doing things because this didn't happen overnight.
Right.
It's like years of pain. I mean, I can tell you my pain was years. It started from age 5. Okay.
Right.
So it's not something that happened overnight. I can't just say, you wear that long sleeve, wear that short sleeve dress and go out there and do it. Go on the runway and do that. No, it's not that easy. It takes time to build them up to it. So it's like baby steps, taking little things to get them to where they need to be, to where they can feel, oh, I really feel pretty today.
Yeah, I love that. So you're talking about actual like deep healing, you're not just, like you said, you're not just throwing them out on a runway, in something that makes someone comfortable. You're actually addressing some of those core issues that cause them to feel uncomfortable with themselves. That's really amazing.
I used to do this thing. I still do it. It's called Blazing Tuesday. And I would ask ladies or men, because men have these issues as well. But my
Mhm.
core audience that I work with are women. Post a picture of yourself on Tuesday and say, Blazing Tuesday, I am beautiful. You know what? For some people to put themselves out there and say, I'm beautiful in front of everyone, that's a very hard thing to do. So there's one young lady in the acting community. She would watch me post and see other people tagging me and post. I tell you, the minute she posted a picture of herself, I almost cried
Mm.
because I remember her going to my inbox telling me she could never do that.
Mm,
And she did it one day. And even one of the acting coaches came in my inbox and told me, Kathy, you were just amazing the way you made that person feel. So I was really proud of her. And then she
yeah.
got married.
Oh, good. That's awesome. So I imagine, doing this kind of work is really rewarding, and it also helps kind of what you were talking about, fulfill your own self. So I'm curious, kind of what do you learn about yourself through this process of working with these other women? Have there been like aha moments for you as you've worked with other people?
You know what? It has been. I tell you, I don't want to call myself a hoarder, but I hold on to things. Can you believe I had Valentine's cards and my little box things from when I was in grade school and high school? And I had this picture from this young lady from high school who wrote a note on the back. Senior year, they write a note on the back of how you made them feel or whatever. And just the verbiage that she used reminded me of some of the verbiage that I hear from people at this time.
Mm,
So it isn't something that I just started. You know what? I didn't realize that even though I was trying to heal myself, I was probably putting it on others back when I was younger, trying to make them feel the way I wanted to feel. So
right.
that was an aha moment for me.
And that's kind of one of those, like, you are your gift, like you are the gift, and that's pretty spectacular. So I got to ask you, because I love asking this of really powerful women and women that I really highly respect. And Diane knows it's my favorite interview question. Um, I love to learn from people's failures. I think that's really, really valuable and interesting to hear about a time when you feel like maybe you failed, but you actually learned something really important from that failure. Can you share maybe about an experience like that?
There was a time when I made a friend feel a certain kind of way. I don't know if I was putting too much pressure on her. I don't want to say to be perfect, but to love herself and to act the way I wanted to her to act, and to rush her into her transition and her journey. And it broke up a relationship because of me putting my pressures on her. So I learned that everyone has their own journey, their own time that they're going to turn into that beautiful butterfly. It won't be on my timeline. And that has helped me with the women that I work with, that I can't pressure them to do it the way Kathy wants to do it. I have to give them their own space and their own time to grow. So that has been one of the best learning experiences for me and with me and my business.
I love that. Yeah. What a great lesson that I'm sure that was a hard lesson to learn if it broke up the friendship, but that's so important. Yeah. And I'm sure that impacted every single relationship you've had since then, as far as your business goes. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. So I know that, COVID kind of threw a wrench into everybody's lives, and it feels a little hard to plan, but you're on this great path, and everybody just, I think, feels such admiration for the work that you do. So I'm curious, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What does 5 years from now look like for you?
Well, you're right. COVID has changed some things, but COVID has also given me some time to I'm going to say educate myself more, to get some certifications that I want, to spend time reading, to spend time diving into things that I didn't have time for before, and to see a lot of things a lot clearer about my life and about my future. In 5 years, I would see myself starting up an official foundation for my business to be able to help more women and more families. The foundation part would be for families. I wanted to be able to help those families that are in need or that are having problems coping with whatever the issues may be when it comes to confidence, self-esteem, dealing with children being bullied, or wives or moms and dads going through depression. So I want to be able to help families with my foundation.
What a kick-ass goal. And I feel like you're like in the perfect community, because there's all these women that would rise up to help you in a heartbeat, right? Including a lot of the authors of this book, to help make that happen. So I believe in 5 years, you will have that foundation, no doubt. That's a really cool thing.
Thank
so
you.
I want to ask you a kind of a silly one. Is your middle name really Blaze, or is that like what you kind of call yourself to go with all the business stuff, or like, is that really your middle name? How does that work?
No, that is actually a stage name that was created. I was a part of this production that was sort of like America's Next Top Model.
Okay.
So they gave all the models a stage name. So Blaze, they sit down and asked us a bunch of questions about herself, and Blaze was what the producer came up for me, and it stuck. Everyone started calling me Blaze. So, I mean, I have people that don't even call me Kathy; they just call me Miss Blaze.
Oh,
cool. I want that.
I know. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Kathy always, even like through Zoom, I always feel so much joy from Kathy. So I guess I want to ask her, I want to ask you, in a time when so many people are struggling with so many different things, what brings you joy right now? What is giving you hope right now?
Oh my goodness, that's an easy one for me. You know what? I love to get in my car and go take a ride and just listen to music. You know what? When I can have the worst day and I go get in the car and just take a drive and listen to music, that makes me feel so good. I don't know. I think because it reminds me of my grandmother, who's no longer with me. We always listen to music in the house, and it just makes me have her with me. So listening to music helps me to relieve some of that pain. And two, you know what? I believe in faith and not fear, not walking in fear. Okay, because that is a lot of what held me back before, is being in fear. So now I'm consistently speaking about walking in faith and not fear.
That's awesome. Thank you for those tips. I think those are really, really amazing tips. And Kathy, you have just an amazing spirit and energy. Keep doing the incredible work you're doing. Thank you so much.
Well, Kathy, I have a question for you. So, as you were writing the chapter for the book, um, was there anything, can you share maybe one thing that you learned about yourself as you were kind of rehashing and talking, thinking about all of those things when you wrote that chapter?
I have been doing my ancestral, looking at my ancestral history and family background lately. And when I was writing my story, it made me realize how much time I wasted being stuck in this box, not having confidence and self-esteem to do all the things that I wanted to do. And that was one of the things that I thought a lot about. I mean, just the history that came from my family, the things that I felt that I should have been doing years ago. But you know what? I say I have plenty of more years to get those things done. But that was one of the things that stuck with me when I was writing the story.
Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I can't wait until everybody is reading all these chapters. As we do all these interviews, it's like, oh, I just want to get the book out there so people can actually read, all of the chapters that we're doing. So you are doing amazing work. And we appreciate you taking time, not just to talk to us today, but actually writing a chapter in the book. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Honored to be able to be a part of it.
Absolutely. So, and thank you for those of you that are watching the interview. Feel free to share share them if you would like. And if you need further information about the book, you can go to FromUsForYou.com. Make it a hopeful day. Thank you.